Okay, I'm live, and as you see the description, I'm down here at Hilton Head, South Carolina, and we're in our condo. We have a condo down here, and it's our condo slash uh, office. We have an office over to the left over here, so I can maintain our business and everything like that. And we are able to come down here and work our trucks. Hey, Sarge, glad to see you in there this morning. Yeah, we're able to come down to Hilton Head and be able to see our trucks and manage our business down here in Savannah, and just be not too far away from our office down here. So I'm glad I'm able to have a place like this and maintain a place like this down here in Hilton Head. And like I said, I've told people, a lot of people say, well, why are you in Hilton Head? Well, I had to have an office down here somewhere in the Savannah area. And it's really not my fault that they put an ocean right beside my office. So I guess you can look at it that way. Actually, when I initially came down to the Savannah area, and we just got back to North Carolina, back in this I-95 to 81. Yeah, you're running on the eastern part, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of FedEx. You probably saw some of mine. I running down 95. I have 6 that run down 95 every day, well, day and night. So you may have possibly seen one or two of mine. They burn the road up down through there. Now ours, most of mine will get off at. They'll run from the Savannah area on up to 26, and then from 20 they take 26 north. They don't run any further up than 26. So that's as far up as my FedEx will run that way. And then they'll run 26 to Columbia, and then pick up 77, and then 77 on up to Charlotte. And that's the direction they're going, and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, I tell you, on I-81, yeah, that I-81 it's messed up. Hey, JC, hey, glad to see you in there. JC, now I saw your video. Is that my potential truck that you were working on? I hope so, because you got it working good. If you did. Hey, Chris, glad to see you. Glad to see you out here this morning, Chris. Yeah, JC, I hope that was my truck that you were working on. So it's fixed good now. JC showed a video yesterday, or uploaded, I guess sometime during the night or something, showing how to fix a problem. And we have that same problem with a lot of our trucks too, where the dirt and everything is stopped up on the blower motors and the evaporator on the trucks. And yeah, JC's really good at it. He's very, very good with it, especially the Fords. You plead the fifth. It's one of your trucks. You're going to plead the fifth. Well, I'll plead the fifth too. I am potentially buying a truck from Mr. J.C. Smith. Hopefully, he and I will be keeping our not so much secrets together there. But J.C. is, for anybody that doesn't know J.C., you need to watch his videos. Very informative, very good, especially with Fords. And I mean, if you've got an issue with, he has torn apart from head to toe I don't know. It looks like hundreds of Fords. I don't know if it's hundreds, but plenty. So if anybody wants to see how to work on a Ford 150 Super Duty 550, whatever, he has torn them apart inside and out. I guarantee he's probably better than most techs that you would find at any Ford dealership, because he takes whole bodies off. He takes everything off. And, so if you don't know J.C. Smith's projects, you need to check them out. They're very, very informative, very good. And I think everybody can be good from that. Chris, how did you do at your sale yesterday? I noticed you said you were going to an auction yesterday, so I hope you did real well at your auction. And by the way, guys, is my video pretty good? It looked good on the test. Yeah, I'm landing on thick. Maybe I'll get some advertisement out of that. Oh, man. But yeah, I hope you were successful on your auction yesterday, Chris. Okay, good. Yeah, I've got really a great stream down here. I've got a good Wi-Fi down here off of so what is the Hargrave is the you got a Hobart portable welder for 2,000 and a 68 Chevy and 4x4 pickup. Sounds like you had a pretty good haul there. Yeah. Chris's auctions are looking pretty good. I love watching some of the old things he's drug in and out. My dad, it reminds me so much of when I was a young kid. My dad would take us to auctions, got me the bug for going to auctions when I was a little boy. And he would get in there and just buy just about anything, and loved watching my dad's techniques. I've picked up on it as I've gotten older. Hey, Renegade, glad to see you in here. Dad was the same way, and he would come back with things that I would question sometimes, but a lot of times we would get a pile of stuff, and we would be like a kid in the candy store. Then we would love going through it. Oh, good gracious. I hope they're not too high. Yeah, you might ought to come down with some and sell them too. Like I was telling you, JC, an auction company down in Statesville, a lot of them do real well there. A lot of people from the Ohio area come down with trucks and sell them down here. So I know from years past they were. I haven't actually been to the one, and I'm trying to think of the name of that one, but there's a big one in Statesville, North Carolina, that it used to be a huge truck, used truck sale and car and truck, but it was something. Said, yeah, you got so you got the no cost package and everything with yours. That's pretty good. Yeah, I had that on my BMW, and I really like it too. It worked out pretty good. Coming up with 200 plus classic cars in various conditions. Yeah. I sold my one and only big time classic car, I guess, during my auction. I sold my 29A model. It wasn't much more than a shell, and I didn't get that much out of it. I got a couple thousand out of it. I'd always thought that I would fix it up one day, but it was, unfortunately, I kept it almost 40 years and didn't do much of any work to it. So I let that project go. Now the projects I've got now are a little more complete. So I like having them that way. Well, that's true, Sarge. Yeah, you pay for it dearly when you get it. That's on all the new ones. A new truck's going to run you anywhere from most of them now are $65,000, $70,000. I'm able to get some a little bit cheaper on my fleet price. Uh, uh, yeah, well, yeah, I know I can't have too many projects either. Uh, but yeah, fortunately for me with Ford, I'm set up as a fleet buyer. I have bought so many trucks over the years that I've been able to do that, and I maintain a good many. And all they need to do is, see that I've got them titled and insured. I have to prove. I think you have to have. I think it's 15 vehicles, and I maintain more than that, way more than that. And so I don't have any problem getting the fleet discount, which is good. It's good and it's bad. I mean, uh, you can if you title so many trucks, like say you're going to have a business that can maintain that many, and I guess that's the edge. And one of the great things I like about the fleet thing is all this dealer, what do they call it? It's not a dealer prep, but anyway, this dealer fee that everybody throws on, and it's anywhere from $750 to $1,000. That dealers say that's the doc fee. That's what I was trying to think of. The documentation fee. Well, that's a bunch of malarkey. That's a bunch of malarkey, and thank goodness I don't have to pay that on the fleet purchases. And the average consumer has to pay that, and that's a ripoff. It is a ripoff, in my opinion. It is a internal fee that all these dealers have gotten together. They've had a collusion, if you want to talk about a collusion, and they do their doc fee, and that's not right. But and then that's how they kind of play one dealer against the other, is because one of them may have a little bit lower doc fee, or they're out the door price and everything else. Uh, and it's a money grab, like you're saying, Sarge. It's a money grab, and it's the way for the dealer to get a little extra money. They say, "Oh, we're going to sell to you at cost, or we'll sell to you at 100 over cost." Well, 100 over cost, and then they've added extra fees. So that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing, in my opinion. So I don't know. It's crazy. It's tough when you're out there trying to uh, negotiate that stuff. But I've had a pretty good week down here this week, and the trucking in the trucking business. We met with a good driver yesterday. I think he's going to make us a good, hopefully a good nighttime driver. And we are looking for some more drivers in the Savannah area. So if you know anybody that would qualify or would like to get into our FedEx business, have them, check my info and everything, because I'm going to be hiring probably a good many drivers down here. As I've told some of y'all in the past, I sold off 5 of my routes in the Greensboro, North Carolina area, and I'm concentrating. And hey, Matt, made it in here. Good. Yeah, it's all a racket, that's for sure, Matt. Yeah, we sold those 5 routes, and then we're taking the equipment. I didn't sell the equipment; I just sold the routes, and we're able to move the equipment down to Savannah and not have to have all that extra expense. There's some expense of going in there, and I have to do some things internally with FedEx and change numbers and a few things like that. But other than that, I don't have to go out and purchase a vehicle. I don't have to buy the 2290s. I don't have to buy the extra tags, everything else. And, some people say, well, that shouldn't be that much. Well, let me explain to you. A tag for a tractor trailer truck is $1,800. The insurance is real high, because I keep insurance on everything all the time. Generally speaking, it's anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000 per unit. Then the 2290 is $550 per unit also. So you have a $550 per truck that you have to pay that to the government. It's got an IRS form. 2290 is an actual IRS form that you fill out and pay every August on every unit. And unfortunately for me, in about a week, I've got to buy 38 2290s at $550 a piece. So do the math. That's a killer. This is a killer time that I have to do that. Well, hey, Doug, glad to see you in there too. Yeah. Yeah, you got your coffee and ready to go. Did you watch that good race last night, Doug? I know you're a NASCAR fan. They were beating and banging out of Bristol, Tennessee last night. I saw the last 15, 20 minutes of it, and got to see the other Busch brother win. If you're a NASCAR fan, I saw Kurt Busch win the NASCAR race. Didn't get to see enough of it to see all the beating and banging, but it was evidently a pretty good one. Yeah, we're like I said, we're staying busy with all these trucks down here and trying to keep everything rocking and rolling. I've got I still have 2 more units of those 6 that I bought to get purposed on FedEx. I didn't immediately do them because I knew I was going to try to do this Savannah deal. So I'm wanting to get them repurposed in Savannah, so I don't have to go through a lot of hassle with FedEx. Let's see, what's everybody? Death and taxes. Yeah, that's for sure, Chris. We always have that. We're never going to, we're in this world renting. Everybody says I'm buying something. Yeah, we're buying, but we buy and then we keep paying forever. I mean, even after you buy, you're going to be paying taxes. I mean, this past year I have bought about 20 acres of land, and out of those 20 acres of land, of course, I'm going to be paying on that extra tax for the rest of my life. So that's just the way it is. But you just try to you get yourself to a certain level that you're comfortable with, and then you can continue on and maintain that and just have everything in order. So when you pass on, that your children can do the same thing or whatever if they want to, or as like a lot of them do nowadays, they sell off and get out of everything. But just just get in there and do the best we can do. Legalize extortion. Yeah, I understand that. That's it feels like we got a gun to our head sometimes, doesn't it, Matt? And the more you just got to get to the point that you don't let it just bother you so much. I mean, JC and I have been chatting this week, and I was telling him that I finally I have to file extensions. I've got a lot of stuff, so usually mine are extended out past April. When you have a lot of business, you get complicated sometimes. I've got an accountant and all the accountants, but I don't have an internal accountant that has everything ready to go April 15th, bam, ready. And sometimes we need to extend it out. And when you're in business, you'll understand this. You have to extend it out to make sure that you've gotten everything and get yourself kind of geared up and lined up for the next year. So, and reanalyze that. And that's what I had to do this year, because unfortunately, the previous year I had actually paid too much income tax. And within a business, you've got, it's really a fine line. You're trying to get your taxable income down as far as you possibly can. You want to show the least amount of profit as you can. And you do that through depreciation and your purchases, and, trying to, have that great balance, because if you don't have that, you're just giving your money away. I mean, it's your hard-earned money, so you better make sure that you buy and purchase and try. I mean, don't go out and buy a boat and motorhome and everything else. I mean, I'm talking about taxable or usable equipment. I mean, for me, I buy things for my shop. I buy, last year I bought this sterile Coney lift system, which is real expensive. It's about $39,000, I believe, $39,000. And we bought that so we can lift our trucks up. And it was a necessary piece of merchandise, and that's deductible for me. So I was able to get it. And I bought several trucks, sold several trucks. And see, that's the balance that I got to watch. I got to watch how much I sell and how much I buy. JC probably knows this as much as anybody out there, because y'all have seen his videos, and he is big into purchasing and buying. And there's a fine balance out there of what he can and can't do, because if he lets it get out of balance, if he's bought too much or sold too much, whatever, then his taxable income could be greatly affected for that year. Whoops. I got to change something here. Okay. I was about to lose something there on Google. It said, I guess everything's okay. Give a thumbs up if you can. I think everything's still okay. I had a Google pop-up there that said something was stopping. I jumped on it. Am I in there? I guess I'm still in there good. And yeah, so okay, I see everybody's still going, so I guess I should be fine. I'm on this different Wi-Fi. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Doug. Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Well, when I'm working off of a different Wi-Fi, I don't know how good it is or how bad it is and all that sort of stuff. But I hope I'm staying in there good. But I think a lot of people can get some much better than last week. Yeah. Well, this is a good Wi-Fi. This is a real good Wi-Fi that I've got here down here I'm at the condo in Hilton Head, South Carolina. This is how I do my beach experience. I'm here on the chat. My wife is actually out walking on the beach right now, but she's taking her morning walk. I told her, I said, no, I got a 9 o'clock chat with a lot of friends, so I would rather do that right now. She'll get me out in a little bit, and it's a little bit overcast out there anyway today, so which is not really a bad time to go out walking. But I enjoy being down here, and it's a good office for us down here, a good place for us to hang out and manage the trucks. And yeah, I'm trying to read the chat at the same time and talk. I'm ambidextrous to a degree. I can chew chewing gum and walk, but yeah, I'm trying to keep up. Yep. Yeah. Like JC was saying there, he was talking about every truck he owns is considered income. Yeah. And you'll pay at the end of the year, you'll have to sell off enough to, and it's really crazy. I've got my new money pit, as I've told people, my Napa store is my latest money pit. Trust me. We have poured a lot of our own personal income into that store to get it turned around. And I bought it at the best price. I will tell you that I bought it at a good price, because the gentleman that had it he had just let it go downhill. So I was able to get it and get the franchise at the best possible price that I would imagine anybody could, to get a Napa franchise. I mean, I think it was probably as cheap as anybody that I have heard of getting one. And I'm fortunate that. And then now we have taken it and we're going to put it in a new location and hopefully turn around the retail sales on it. The wholesale part I'm trying to build back up he had actually let that really get down low too. And so it's a really building process for us to get that Napa store turned around. But that being said, what I was getting kind of hinting around to, when I went to my accountant this past week, the only one of my businesses that made a profit was that Napa store. And my wife and I, we about fell out in the floor laughing about that, because how much money we have had to throw into that business to, turn it around a little bit. And my accountant showed us that we actually made a profit on that. And we just about busted a gut laughing about that, because it cost us so much money, our own personal money and everything else. And we laughed about it, saying, and that is showing profit. And, it's based on your inventory and, all kinds of different things. And it's just crazy. But that's the way it goes sometimes. I totally thought with everything that I'd thrown into it that there'd be zero profit on that Napa store, because of the fact that we had everything on it. But I don't have anything to depreciate, and it works differently, because there's not the amount of depreciation on equipment, because it's a moving stock, you might say. It's always moving. You're ordering in, selling out, and everything else. So it's I have to get my mindset a little bit with it than I do my trucking business, because the depreciations and what I can deduct is way less than I can with the other businesses. So you asked how the store is going. It's going pretty good. I mean, the new store, hopefully, I shot for August to get opened up. Didn't make that deadline. Shooting for September. It doesn't look like we're going to make that deadline. Hopefully I'll be in it by October. It looks like I want to open it up with a big bang. I want to open it up really good. I don't want to kind of half-ass open it up. I want the store to really pop when I open it up. So we're taking sort of the hit on not having a productive month, and actually paying for two places at the same time too. My wife was saying, yeah, we're paying power bill at the new store, we're paying power bill at the old store, we're paying phone bills at the new store, we're paying phone bills at the old store. I had to put my Wi-Fi system in and get everything geared up, and my phone system at the new place, even though I'm not even using it. I haven't even made a phone call on the new store yet. Or received one, because I'm still wiring my phone system up, things like that. So, there's a lot of infrastructure that you don't realize has to be done before you can actually open up a retail store like that. So it's, free hot dogs, come on down. We're going to have, we might even have a band to play or something like that. I've been talking to some guys that have got a band, and maybe have some live music. Napa is going to bring out they got like a big tool truck. And then we maybe can even get Ron Capps' racer down there. We don't know. They talk about when we open up will be about the same time that a lot of things are going to be going on in Charlotte at the time as far as racing. And if we can get one of the show cars, we may try to have one of the show cars and some of the NASCAR guys in, and a few things like that. I've got an inside on some of the NASCAR stuff with my partner, a young partner that we're bringing on. He actually works for Hendrick Motorsports, and he's the gas man. If y'all want to watch, he's the big guy gassing the number 24 car on the NASCAR circuit. He's got a young driver, that William Byron, that he gasses for on the Sundays, or like last night, it was Saturday night. And also he gasses for, he's the gas man for Elliott Sadler on the Infinity racing side. Of course, Elliott just announced this week he's retiring. This is his last year, I think. but that's my new partner. That's sort of my retirement plan. Some people have asked about that. I have got the young couple uh, that's coming in, and they're actually going to work with my wife and I. And his wife's already working for us. She's been working for us about 9 months, 8 or 9 months, and she's a real sharp girl, and does real well. Uh, so I've got her. Uh, uh, she's already here working for us, and we're really enjoying her as an employee and a future partner. And then Landon, it's Landon and Christy Walker. If you want to ever look them up or whatever, Landon's out there online for all the Hendrick stuff. But Landon, he's real sharp. He does. He and his wife were in the Amazon side, and they are merging all their stuff in with us, and we're bringing them on as partners, and they're going to be my retirement. Well, later, Matt, I hate you had to jump in and out so much, but I know you're busy. But anyway, Landon is going to be. He's going to take over my spots, hopefully one day. I mean, because I'm getting old, guys. I've been at this FedEx thing for 32 years. And, a lot of people don't hang in there that long as a contractor or a owner or driver or whatever. So, I've been at it doing this part of it. And prior to that, I had worked almost 18 or 20 years. So I've been in the trucking business since 1967. So that's 51 years that I've been in the trucking business. Now, not continually all the entire time, but yeah, it can be stressful. It can be stressful. I kind of strive off a little bit of stress. I mean, you need a little bit of stress, a little bit of gumption about yourself to. I'll see you've got to have a little bit of something to get your energy going. And sometimes it has to be a tad bit of stress. I mean, if everything's too easy, I mean, you kind of get laid back and lazy, I think. JC, you're always going to have stress on yours. You know that. You only live on so much stress, whatever you let your stress level get to. Now, my doctor reports, I went to the doctor this past week. I'm vouched to say I'm doing good. I've lost, in the past 3 months, I've lost almost 20 pounds. I need to lose another 20 pounds. I'm a big old, I'm little chunky boy here. Or when I went to school, what was they used to say that was the husky. You were a husky boy, husky size clothes. Although I was skinny in high school and regular school, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten husky, you might say. I'm getting better too. That's what I'm trying to do, Renegade. I'm trying to get better as I get older and enjoy life. I mean, we're only given so many days. I'm hoping that I'm using all mine wisely. I'm not going to use mine to sit back. I mean, I'm at the beach right now, but I'm not going to be sitting out there on the beach. I'm going to walk around the beach. I'm going to investigate things here at the beach. I'm going to enjoy different things at the beach while I'm here. I'm not going to be a lazy guy reading a book on the beach. I saw some yesterday that was out there, and I'm thinking, I am not ever going to get out here under an umbrella and bake myself reading a book or something like that. And, I like walking on the beach. I get out there with my wife. Yep. I like to invest. I'm like, yeah, well, you're probably as young as you are. You're investigating them in a different way than I'm investigating. I'm sort of like a dog chasing a car down here at the beach. If I caught it, I couldn't drive it anyway. So, yeah, Chris is young enough. I guarantee he's doing it way different than I'm doing it. He's investigating it, and he's plotting. It's what Chris will be doing. He's plotting what he's going to do on what he's investigating, and I'm down here. Exactly, JC. I'll at night sometimes I read technical manuals, and I like to read things that will actually teach me something. And this is why I love our videos that a lot of the different guys put out, because again, I'm gonna brag on JC one more time. His videos are very, very informative. And for the people that don't watch it, I mean, that's how I got hooked on JC's videos, is seeing, I forgot what it was. I was looking at something, Googling, and came across JC's channel. And I said, this guy knows what he's doing. I mean, so I started watching it. I watch one video, then watch another video, and so on and so on. And that's what is great about our community right now out here on Google and a few things, is the fact that we can learn. Yeah, well, I know it, Chris. Yeah, well, I'm not going to dispute that she's not the brains, JC. I'll tell you that. I've seen Miss Smith is. You're very fortunate, like me. Miss Smith's a smart girl. Miss Jones is a smart girl too, and I do have a very smart wife, and keeps me in line. She's a pretty good girl. I might take a swig of my Diet Mountain Dew. I use Diet because I don't want to put any more pounds on, so I use the Mountain Dew, but I use Diet Mountain Dew. But yeah, they let us look good. Yeah, that's right, JC. It's that's the thing about it. I think what's successful for me is the fact that I have been married to the same lady, young girl. I'd say she was my high school sweetheart. We married young, right out of high school, and we've been married 48 years. And I'm proud of that, of the fact that I've been able to hang on to her for 48 years. And we got two grown children, and I'm real proud of that too. Yeah, and I was about the same. I was 15 or 16 when I met Barbara, JC, and fell in love with her. Knew that I told her, and it's the truth. I knew early on. I said, that's the girl that I'm going to marry, and I stuck it out. I made sure. We dated a little bit in high school, broke up, but that she was still the one I wanted to date, and okay, I won't tell. But those are the things. I mean, if you get a good woman, and it's hard to do out there. I mean, you see a lot of marriages that fail because of all the different reasons. And if you find one that you truly love and you want to be a life partner with it, and that's a good bit of it too, is somebody you want to say, I can live with that person for the rest of my life. I like their personality. I like this. I mean, I know everybody's been out on dates and different things like that, and you're with somebody and you go, God, that's sort of annoying. And, they might be the sexiest, prettiest thing you've ever seen, but if they do something that's annoying, I mean, just totally annoys you, you're not going to like it the rest of your life. I mean, you've got to have some, you got to make sure that person that, not to say that there's not always going to be something with another person that's going to annoy you. And, I even kid my wife about everything. And I said, that kind of bothers me. And she says, do you want me to make a list of what you do that bothers me? And I said, no, just tell me to quit. Because I know that everybody has little nuances and everything that are going to annoy somebody. But if you can find somebody that's compatible and that if you, yeah, Yeah. Okay, Rennie. Yeah, that's that. And that's what you got to do. Sometimes some people. Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna have to scratch my nose. uh, uh, some people think about living with somebody for the rest of your life, and it's a huge commitment. But uh, you've got to look at families. You've got to look at everything that you want to be involved with. Now, and I hate to say it, but sometimes the families of a girlfriend or a wife or whatever, or a boyfriend, or whatever the case may be, if it's man, woman, whatever, that can really tear people apart too. Uh, and like the old saying goes, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family, and that is so true. That is so true. So, uh, you know, it's something that you've got to look at totally. I mean, like I said, I've seen in my younger days, I dated girls, and then you kind of weigh that out and go, yeah, she's okay, maybe she's got a hot bod or something, or maybe something really turns you on about her. But then if that total package is not something that you feel like you're going to live with, the family, the looks, the intelligence, and intelligence has a lot to do with it too. You've got to be able to look at these things and say, I really don't want somebody that's good looking and dumb as dirt. And it may be good looking and may be sexy and whatever initially, but boy, if they're dumb as dirt, you're going to probably regret it and say, this person is not as fun to be with. That's I think that's, I'm not getting off to be Dr. Oz here, but that's some of it too, I think. But this week has been a pretty enjoyable week for me. I've gotten a lot of things done. I feel like I'm turning turning things around as far as my store and trying to get it moving in the right direction. So I feel pretty good about that, and we feel pretty good about our projects that we're doing. I've been staying really busy with some things. I've got some other projects in mind too. My wife says I have too many projects, and she has to calm me down every once in a while. Say, you don't need to do that. You need to do this, and that, whatever. I've got another parts store that's actually going out of business that I've been negotiating with them for about the past month or so. They were really high on what they wanted, and I didn't really need all their product. And they're not a Napa store. They're a Parts Plus and a few other things, but they've got a lot of product that overlaps with what I have. And I've been checking into that, and supposed to meet with them tomorrow and see if we can finalize some things on maybe purchasing a good bit of their inventory that would, if I can get it right. I mean, I've got to get it right to begin with, because the parts business, as some people and I have discussed in the past, it's not as profitable as you would think. I can sell even more. I'm independent, JC. I can sell as much as I want. It doesn't matter. I can do 75%. As from what I read, at least that's what they're telling me. I've got to maintain a good portion of Napa products. That being said, though, Napa products, I can circumvent or the direction I buy from them. In other words, I can buy some things directly from the manufacturer. If I'm getting like our hydraulic hoses and a few things like that, our fittings, and there's a lot of different manufacturers that will actually sell to me directly if I want to buy truckloads or large quantities and a few things like that. And I can it'll still be counted as Napa inventory, even though it didn't actually go through Napa. So, so they have, it's sort of a, I don't know if it's a love-hate relationship on certain things, but they give me flexibility. They're liberal with their allowance of what they call, me as a Napa store. But I do have to maintain a majority of my stuff. It goes through Napa, but I can still carry some things that are not Napa. And in my store, I'm trying to expand on it to carry a lot of different items, especially the truck end. And see, that's one thing that Napa is lacking on certain things. I mean, I have to, when it comes to turbos and clutches and a few other things, sometimes I can actually buy them directly from Freightliner or KW or somebody else cheaper, and buy the wholesale end of theirs, the jobber end of theirs, cheaper than I can buy from Napa, or go straight from the manufacturer, from Bendix and so on, and different things like that. So, it depends on, like Chris is saying, warranty and a few things like that. I've got to be able to get the backing from the supplier. But it's tough. It's a big balancing act of what we can and can't do. Well, hey, Greg, I just noticed you in there. I've been running off at the mouth, and I didn't see you in there, Greg, but I do see you now. Just different things like that. It's complicated. It's complicated, Chris. It surely is. But as my wife just walked back in from, did you have a good long walk? Did you go out on the beach? Is it nice out there?
It is.
It is? Okay. Yeah. I told everybody that you were out doing your daily walk. Yeah. My wife stays real pretty about doing her daily walk, stays fit. And she's my sex machine over there. Boy, she got a laugh out of that. Yeah. My wife's I think she and we both agree. She says I'm still handsome to her, and she's really still pretty to me. So after all these years, that's yeah. My wife enjoys long walks on the beach, and my husband likes long sits on the couch. That's what Chris just said. Yes, that's true. She says, yeah. And that's true too, JC. It's the gray areas. Sometimes if you can do those, they can actually make you more money. And you said it, and you and I both talk with each other. Sometimes it's on how you're able to purchase things that you actually do so much better at. I mean, selling something at a certain price is one thing, but if you hadn't committed yourself to getting that product right, and especially if it's a resale item, you better know how to buy that, because yeah, I still love her enough to chase after her after all these years. She has to slow down though. I can't run as fast as I used to, so the chasing has to be I'm more at a Tim Conway type slower pace of chasing. I can't run. But she is, love my wife, love having somebody that I can get up with every day and look at her. And I see, the beauty of it is this is what she says, you still see the 15-year-old girl. And I do. I still see that real pretty 15-year-old girl that I fell in love with, 50 something years ago now. And, and that's a good thing for me. That's a good thing for me. When you got that and you've got incentive to want to do right. Yeah, she can outrun me real easy. Yeah, probably. Yeah, she gets out and gets her exercise more than I get mine. She says I got better jawbone muscles than she has, because I talk a lot more. But yeah, she gets out and stays healthy, and her family, her mother will be 90 years old in October, and she's still relatively healthy, and her dad had a good long life, and granddad. Her family history is longevity. She's going to probably outlive me 20 years. She her family history is really really good, and they yeah, she couldn't outrun me 50 years ago. That's how I got her. I was on the track team. Yeah, I could chase her down, and so I could get her 50 years ago. But right now, she could probably keep up a faster pace. I know she could keep up a longer pace than I could. I get out on the beach yesterday. I was out there and we were walking, and I said, well, let's turn around. She said, well, let's go a little bit further. I said, nope. I said, my hip tells me it's time to turn around and go back the other direction. The other hip will start telling me when to stop. But that's the way it is in life. I mean, it's been pretty good. Like I said, I'm a happy man. I don't ever foresee seeing myself just retiring completely. And somebody asked me the other day, I mean, I'm at retirement age. I could be drawing Social Security, everything else. I'm not. I'm still working. I'm going to keep on working. I'm going to probably go ahead and draw my Social Security this year, even though I've put it off way past. I mean, like I said, I'm 67 headed towards 68, and could have already drawn some Social Security, and I haven't drawn a penny out of it yet. But we're going to do that. But yep, and that's when I'm going to retire too, JC. When they close the lid, or as my wife's going to do, it's when she puts the top on the canister. She says she's going to. Well, we're both going to be cremated, and she said she wants to put me on the shelf so she can talk to me every day. So that's what she wants to do. Yeah, killing time till it kills us both. Yeah. I'm down here at the beach, and I've been up since 6:30 this morning down here at the beach, just knocking around, doing some things I wanted to do, trying to not wake up the wife who slept to 8:30, but she was getting beauty sleep. I don't need it. But she slept in a little bit later than normal. She's usually up early too. Yep. Well, and that's the thing to do. I kind of wish I had my dad like that and my mom, but they were buried the old traditional way, and we have them their headstone and everything, but it's a little bit different. I think in some ways that if you can have a little bit of somebody there, it'd be good. My wife says if she goes first, she wants me to spread her ashes out in the garden. My wife has a real pretty flower garden and works hard at that at home and does some things with that. It makes the yard look really pretty, and so she wants to do that. I'll probably, maybe the kids can spread her ashes out there. It probably won't be me. She'll probably outlive me, like I said, 15 or 20 years. We don't know, but we're both, maybe I can be talking on YouTube 20 years from now, or something similar to YouTube, whatever's available at that time. Snake Creek. Okay, I don't know where it's. Snake Creek in Tennessee. I don't know where that's at. Is that where that was her favorite fishing hole? Yeah. I've got a pond. Okay, now what part of Tennessee is that in, Chris? I see my mother's from Tennessee. I was telling JC that yesterday. My mother's from Del Rio, Tennessee. JC, we'll see you. I know you're out there working hard, and nice to get you in here chatting. Oh, okay. So over in West Tennessee side. Okay. Uh, Crump to be okay. Yeah, my mother's from the East Tennessee side. She's over there near Newport, Tennessee. She was in a little town called Del Rio, Tennessee, which is unless you know where it's at, you won't find it. I can tell you that. Uh, Years ago, when they opened up I-40 for the first time, I remember getting on I-40 and uh, yeah. Now Pulaski's in Virginia, isn't it? Okay, but to give you, for instance, how far back in the hills and the sticks my mother's side of the family was on that. When you got off I-40 back then, now it's been paved, but when we used to get off, well, I don't know, it's the birthplace of all of them, but when you used to get off I-40 where she was raised, as soon as you got off the exit ramp, it turned into a dirt road. So that's how far back in the country she was. I mean, the exit ramp went straight to a dirt road over there in the Hartford area. Way back then, it was Hartford, Tennessee. That's where that was the exit you get off on. And you, like I said, you get off, and then you would travel probably 25 miles on a dirt road at that time to get over there where she was raised. And that's how far back in the hills. Now, since then, of course, now it's 2018 now. A lot of that's been paved. This was back in the 60s. But that was the difference back then. The roads and the population. I mean, basically they took I-40 and ran it through the they call it the gorge now. If anybody's ever been up in the gorge, it went right through the middle of those mountains up through there, and it took forever to get up there. When I was a real small child, we used to have to go through Cherokee, North Carolina, into Tennessee. Oh, gosh, now you're talking about a trip. It felt like it took, and it probably did. Probably took about 6 or 7 hours to get from our part of North Carolina, and this is pre-interstate days, to over to where she lived in Tennessee, because you can imagine every interstate that we have right now was non-existent back then. It was back then. Like I said, we would go even through Asheville. There was no I-26 or I-40 back then, and we would have to go up 74 through Chimney Rock at that point, or either you could go up 18 into Morganton and go from Morganton up 6470. And all these roads were, it was, you'd go through every little small town, you'd go through 8 or 10 stoplights, then you go on to the next town, then you'd go through their stoplights, so on and so on. And that's the way you traveled back then, back in the 50s. And it was different. And then when they opened up I-40 and I-26, widened 74 and a few things like that, it was amazing. It was amazing what they did with the interstate project. Now, a lot of y'all are not going to be old enough to understand that, because you've probably come up and all you know is interstates. Yeah, and that's what we used to do. We used to travel on the 2-lane roads, and it was an adventure, and not always good 2-lane roads too. And like in our case too, you'd get off of a 2-lane road and travel a dirt road. It's hard to imagine how many dirt roads have been paved over the past 50 or 60 years. I mean, we used to have roads back then that were they would be dirt roads, and to keep the dust down, the people would put used oil on them, and that's what they did. Of course, they they have since said, oh no, that gets into the water supply and everything. And so they quit, years ago, they made them quit doing that. But there used to be companies that would pick up old used oil and put that used oil on dirt roads. And that was done way up into the 70s probably. And until they realized that was a bad practice as far as chemicals and whatever getting into the water supply. But, okay, yeah, you travel a lot of old roads. Are they still doing that in Kansas and everything? Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what we used to do. I mean, you would think about old dirt roads and everything, but it kept the dust down and kept them actually. I remember roads in North Carolina that we used to travel a lot, and they were roads that would be old, and I couldn't wait for them to get them oiled down sometimes because we'd ride in school buses and get in these old dusty roads and everything we'd have to ride. It was nice to be able to get on one that was oiled down and keep that dust from flying and everything. Because we rode on the school buses with no AC and you had to have all the windows down to get it. But nothing worse than being on an old dirt road and the bus driver is flying down dirt road and he has to make a stop. No, I don't have a view of the beach. No, we're a little bit, I am about probably 200 yards away from the beach. I guess you might say 150, 200 yards away. I'm on the 10. I'll tell you what I'll show you though. Maybe there's some pretty girls out there. Let me do this. I'll show you my view. If I still have Wi-Fi, I'll actually show you my view off my back deck. This is called Hilton Head Beach and Tennis. And let's see if we can see. Oh gosh, we can't see it as good. But it's blurring it out. But that's tennis courts down there. And if I could show you over here, there's a couple young girls over there playing tennis right now off one of the courts. So no, we have, I'll walk around and show you my little condo here. I had to turn around backwards. There's our little kitchenette. yeah. And here, let me walk. Watch this. I'm walking backwards, guys. And there's my wife in the office. Turn around, wave, Barbara. There's Barbara in there on the computers. And she's actually doing some work for us for FedEx and keeping our trucks straight. And our master bedroom. Let's see. Let me flip this around light. And then here is our master bedroom in here. So we got that. And then I had to remodel. I'll show you this. We remodeled this when we bought the condo. And of course, here's our bath. We put in one of the big walk-in showers here. So we have that. And so we have a nice little condo down here, and we enjoy it. We enjoy it, and we yeah. It down here, and like I said, we got a nice little. Let me see if I don't know if I'll lose signal out this way, but it's a nice little place down here at Hilton Head Beach and Tennis. And then we go out here, lose signal out here. I don't know, but I'm on the third story, and you can see it's a nice little. It's a nice condo. It's a nice condo, and I enjoy it and enjoy having a place that we can come down here and work. My wife picked it out, so it's her doing. Like I was saying initially, I was just going to get a place over on what's the name of that little town? Hardyville. Yeah, Hardyville. That was north of Savannah and on the South Carolina side, and it's just a little small town out there right off interstate. And she says, huh. She said 20 miles east of here is Hilton Head, South Carolina. We're not going to go to Hardyville and have a place down there when we can go to Hilton Head. So, like I said, we found this place, and she's done some remodeling and made it look nice and everything, and got it to suit her and everything. Of course, I have to show you the tech part for me. I'm the high-tech redneck down here. So I forgot to show y'all guys this. And here's what, there's me. I got the 70-inch screen TV. So I'm going to have the high-tech redneck place and everything. But we like it, Greg. It's a nice place for us. Like I said, we've enjoyed it. I hope that we can, continue on in our adventures down here, and try to improve what we got with our Savannah trucks and everything. And it's interesting to us, and I hope that everybody enjoys following along with our adventures down here and other places, and at my shop and my Napa store. And no, I didn't buy a retirement condo. It's sort of like I said, it's we had to have a place to stay in Savannah for our trucks and everything, and it's not my fault that they put the ocean right beside my office. So that's the way I look at it. It's not my fault that the ocean happened to be right beside it. But it's nice. It's nice, and we enjoy it. Well, guys, I've been on here a little over an hour, so I'm going to hang it up. The wife is wanting to go get something to eat, so we're going to hang it up for this morning. I've enjoyed it immensely. Enjoyed everybody jumping in and chatting and talking with us. Enjoy watching some of the projects that everybody else has on their pages too. Chris, JC, all the different guys that I watch y'all's videos too. So y'all keep up the good work. I'll try to keep up some. Hopefully I'll have a few project pages out here too. And we'll see you, Renegade. And I'll see y'all around, guys.